Oh yeah, once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack, quick attached luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. Hey Bikeaholics, Zero 3D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. These guys ride and support riders just like you. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products in stock, ready to ship to you right now. Hey, Bikeaholics and listeners alike, the show is still going strong because of a lot of hard work and your support, of course. Thanks to all those loyal listeners and true friends of the show that have supported us or are supporting us. For less than a coffee a month, you can help support us too and put a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank to make sure this show keeps moving on down the road. So, calling all law-abiding bikers, head over to our Patreon page and take action today. You can do so at lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Oh, did I mention there's benefits too? From all your friends at lawabidingbiker.com, we appreciate each and every one of you. God bless and ride safe. And now, straight from the Law Abiding Biker Media Studio,
out of sunny Yakima, Washington,
we bring you another episode of the
#1 listen to motorcycle podcast.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
Oh.
What the hell?
What was wrong with that? Tell me what was wrong with that.
Was that the wrong intro?
It's the outro.
You just outroed me?
I can outro.
Hey, it's been great, everybody. Thank you.
Should we do the outro?
Awesome podcast.
Let's just change
we'll see you later.
Let's do this. Let's change it.
You going to outro the intro?
We're going to outro the intro. I like it. That's right. Welcome back, you freaking Bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the Big MM, the motorcycle majority, also known as the
99%ers.
That is right. Large and in charge more than any time in motorcycle history, by watching live on YouTube, by listening in podcast format, whether you like it or not. And I know you like it.
They love it.
They love it. They wouldn't be here. They're part of the biker revolution.
What else you got to do on a Saturday night?
That's
right. Tremendous. It's huge. Yeah. It's the best podcast there's ever been.
That's right.
That's right, guys. Large and in charge. We do have one. Look at, dude.
Already getting freaking blown up here.
We were kind of going to do an experiment tonight, but we're not going to say what it is. But Super Chat.
Super Chat.
Already, Jason Richardson, my God, put some fuel, he says, in the law-abiding biker gas tank, or maybe throw a few bucks toward that split unit AC.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you. Because he knows the law-abiding biker shop and studio is being built in progress, and
we're in the sweatshop here because he says get some AC. That's why I'm in my shorts and a freaking tank top. It is a sweatshop up here.
It's December.
And it's winter.
December, and it's hotter than two rats fucking in a wool sock up here.
Look at the. I'm getting a close up of Popeye. Zoom in on those pipes. I can't zoom in on your pipes. Give them a flex.
I don't even know if those guns will fit in there.
Guess what? Did I tell you last time?
You need a fisheye lens to catch those guns.
Oscar was live.
Did he bring the guns of the Navarone?
He showed his nipple a couple times, and people kept asking him to show his nipple again.
God.
No, I'm serious. Okay, back on track. Super Chat threw me off. Thank you. If you want to send a Super Chat, guys, it is available, I hear, on iPhone now too. It was in beta, but at the bottom of your chat, there's a money sign. You can throw us a Super Chat and let us know how much you appreciate us taking our time and putting this stuff together, guys. All right. We do have just one question before we get started. What you waiting for, Bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
Hell yeah.
Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
That's the one, the man, the myth, the legend. Please don't blow my ears out.
Okay.
Okay, that's a pussy one. Oh, God, yeah, my ears are blowing out, dude. He gets a little more enthusiastic. And, of course, on the sofa, you guys see him right there. Thanks, Popeye, for being in the house.
Absolutely.
Drove down. And if you guys don't know, we just got done with a live Patreon. Nice. Thanks for throwing that in. I appreciate it.
Hey, would you apologize to your wife for me yelling you rang up here in the middle of the night?
I know, dude. She's probably like wakes up in a cold sweat like, what? It's Lurch.
Tell him I'm sorry.
Lurch is in my room.
Oh, look at this from Ross Tomes.
Oh, my Lord.
20.
And a patron.
Oh, my God. Whoa. Wow, Ross. Okay. The first beers you pull out of that new studio and shop is on me. Dude,
That's
Ross,
awesome.
And if you patrons are in the area over here to hit us up, we want to, do whatever we can to work around our work schedules and get you guys a tour of the studio, hopefully done next February or something like that. But I don't even know what to say to that. That's unbelievable.
That is humbling. Thank you very much.
I'm going to have a space dust because of that. Space dust is on Ross Tomaz. And of
cheers
course,
to that one, Lurch.
Wow. Thank you guys. This is the kind of stuff that lets us know, because we're on episode 2 and you patrons know we just got done with a patron only live YouTube event. Only patrons could get in it through their patron account. We're going to do a lot more of that because we want to do more for the patrons. We're always tweaking stuff, and you guys know we're really trying to serve everybody, but we're really interested in serving our patrons, of course, because they support us financially all the time. Ross Tomaz, unbelievable. That's financial support. So thank you. I don't know how to that's humbling. Very, very humbling. So, Richardson, thank you so much too, for Jason, for doing that, guys, right up front. Before I even mentioned,
I got to ask Ross
chats
first. Is it Tomez or is it Tomes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've been saying it and I could probably wrong the entire time.
So would you
type it in there phonetically?
Thank you.
Yeah. So somebody asked Jeffrey, before I tell you what this, I like to get the chat involved. Before we get going, this is a good question. Jeffrey Zolik asked, does Stage 1 void my warranty for a 2017 Glide? Well, of course, if you have the dealership do it and put their expensive Stage 1 on, no. I would strongly encourage you to go back catalog our episodes. We already did a episode on voiding warranty on 2017 Milwaukee 8. Is it myth or fiction? There's a whole bunch. I can't answer that question easily. I would encourage you to listen to that episode. Go to our website, use the search bar, upper right-hand corner, and you'll be able to find Milwaukee 8 void warranty. And we do a whole hour-and-a-half podcast on that very subject. So make sure you always back catalog. Guys, we got a lot of information over on the website.
And for the correction here, it is Tomes. He says it's like Jones, but Tomes.
Thanks, Popeye, for monitoring that and letting me know. Sorry, Ross, I've been saying it wrong for like a long time now. So
dumbass.
Yeah, I'm a dumbass.
I gotta throw a special.
He's probably gonna retract his.
Yeah, can you pull
super
that back?
Yeah, he's gonna pull that back. Yeah, go ahead.
Offending everybody, aren't you?
I'm pretty good at offending everybody.
At least you're equal opportunist.
Yeah, true that.
Defend the fuck out of everyone.
I have to throw a little special shout out to my cousin Heidi, who's watching right now, because her husband Chris Rock, not the comedian.
No, I met them.
The other Chris Rock, you've met him, yeah.
I'm getting a good shot of you for her. I just put the cam on you guys.
Chris is a patron, and they're watching right now, so I just want to say hello to Heidi and Chris.
I know that name. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we went to the our church concert, and we had cocktails with you guys and them.
That's right.
Beforehand. Good
times.
No
shit, huh?
No shit.
Wow.
He's the other Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Not the funny one. The other one.
Is his
I don't
Twitter
remember
name
exceptionally funny?
Is his Twitter name the real Chris Rock? He's got to get that, dude. The real Chris Rock. Yeah, that's freaking sweet.
Good peeps.
So our main topic today, guys, which we'll get into here in a moment, we do have some awesome stuff to tell you about, some videos and stuff. Do I have I don't think I do, but we'll go down and find one. But main topic, group riding. It's all about group riding. We do a lot of it in the Sworn Few MC, which we're all part of. Law Enforcement Only Motorcycle Club. We do a lot of cross-country and local group riding. We've got some tips, tricks, hints, hand signals, things, the kind of protocols. Additionally, I do bring the motor officer experience to it, full-time motor officer, and we do things. A lot of this comes from the way we do things. So hopefully it'll be some awesome information if you're going to group ride, or if you're in a particular group and you don't have a lot of protocols and maybe you're using a sketchy hand signals and stuff, or maybe stuff you guys have made up. Hopefully this will standardize it, because this is kind of the standard. Yeah, that's Popeye just
don't
made
give the shocker.
Don't give the shocker signal. Nobody knows
Popeye
what that
was
is.
doing the old jack off.
This is not a signal. No. It is a signal. Maybe you have to pull over.
Those are sketchy signals.
This still comes out all the time.
This
That's
comes
definitely
out.
one of them.
True.
I still use that one quite often.
We'll explain what that means in a little bit. It's a legitimate signal.
That's right. Yeah. Single file.
Single file. That's going to be the main topic. Now, we always like to mention up front, and I usually drag it into the show notes, Lurch. I need to find it. And so bear with me, guys, because we like to announce a new free YouTube video that we may have out. And I'm trying to find it. Oh, yeah, new free for purchase. Let's pick one out here. Lurch, maybe an easier one if you see one that tickles your fancy or tickles you anywhere.
Tickles your touch hole.
If it tickles your touch hole.
You've been busy on the videos, haven't you?
These have all been out for a long time, but we can't. I can only announce one a podcast, but we could announce two.
Well, shit, we could announce four by the time you guys got done fucking around talking about it.
Correct, true. Let's
do that one right there.
Let's drag this right in here, Lurch, and now that's how it was supposed to be. You want to announce it?
We have a free video if you haven't already picked that up.
One of over 200 free videos on our YouTube channel.
So this one is how to install and wire Ciro 3D bag blade LED lights on your Harley Davidson motorcycle. You can check that out at lawabidingbiker.com/Ciro bag blades.
Yep, absolutely. And if you guys don't know, real quick, look at it. We have them in our store. We're selling the heck out of them. They're better than the Harley ones because they're lower profile and they're brighter because we've tested both. Available in our store. Bag blades, super easy to install. We have a free install video right on the store page on this YouTube channel. And they're basically 3M lights. They're super easy. We show you how to wire them. It's all plug and play. We explain it in law-abiding biker fashion. Guys are loving that video. You can be up and running and have additional lighting on the rear of your bike. The nice thing is these are red, so they go right under the lid of your saddlebag. They're low profile. You can hardly tell they're there until they're lit up.
They're inconspicuous.
Very inconspicuous. And like I say, we will show you how to wire it. It's not hard. And they run along there. It's a red light to the rear when you're running lights. And then, of course, when you hit your brakes, they brighten. And the beautiful part is they're signals, and it actually is directional. So it goes from inside out. So when you signal right, it goes from left to right. And when you signal left, it goes right to left. And it's kind of a directional signal. Our video shows you how they look, how to install them. Yep. So we did that video for guys. And of course, if you appreciate it, please purchase them from us. We have them in stock. We had a little trouble for a little while keeping them in stock. We were selling them so fast. They're so popular. Quality product from Ciro 3D, which is why they are in our store. And I just want to thank the following people because they are making this very episode possible. Whoever wants to take the helm there, all 6 of them, please.
All right, you betcha. We'd like to thank Edward Jones of Atwater, California, Lynn Sanstosa. I think of Barrington, New Hampshire. Paul Fern of Maple Grove, Minnesota. He's a top tier donator.
Yeah, buddy.
Keith French of Kingsley, Michigan. He's a top tier fella.
Matt.
William Doc Jones of Peridot, Arizona. He's also top tier. Todd Barnhall of Fredericksburg, Virginia. He is a top tier donator.
Thank you, every single one of you. Of course, we would love to have you as a patron. We want to get to know you. We want you in the private Facebook group. We want to get to know you better. We want to give you access to things and t-shirts and Facebook group and exclusive videos. But if the only way you can support us is through a flat donation, we never balk. In stereo, right there. That's your relative there. Yeah, Chris Rock, right?
Chris
right, relative, right? Did you say what's the relation? Sorry,
Heidi is my cousin.
That's right. So
Chris
Heidi,
Rock is married.
That's
to
your
my cousin
Heidi. That's your cousin babocking live worldwide.
No, Rock, not Bagok. His last name is Rock, not Bagok.
Oh, sorry, Bagok. Yeah. So we do appreciate it. And why am I doing flat donations? Those are patrons. Oh my God, dude.
You're
my
totally
head.
lost.
You got to stop
Dumbass.
me. Never mind.
You're on a roll.
No, I was on a roll and I was thinking we've done 2 episodes back to back. Never mind. Those are patrons. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. They do get access to all those things. And we do love having all of them in there. And that community in the Facebook group is growing exponentially.
From now on, I will write out
that
the
word,
state
Popeye?
instead of using the
Exponentially.
initials.
Yeah. See, now you know why I do that. I've been meaning to tell you that. I do it, but I should have told you already because that's why, because I've got a couple episodes. I'm like, okay, there's I'm not sure which one that is. And I don't want to screw somebody's state up. And I'm like,
MO's Missouri, MI's Michigan.
Like WA's good. Everybody knows it's Washington. Some, are easy, but there's
I'm
a couple.
tracking.
The M's are multiple M. Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Easy.
Yeah.
Done.
Good.
From now on, you get the whole thing written out.
There you go. And there are the new benefits over on Patreon, guys, like the exclusive, which we're adding exclusive private events. I've updated the patron page, lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, and you can figure out what level and what benefits you can get. So check out the new free video. Let's get right into our main topic, and it is group riding hand signals, tips and tricks, and maybe some stories, and maybe some sidetracking. We're not sure. We have live chat. if you guys want to give us some, we appreciate the super chats. If you feel it in you and you appreciate, we did do a lot of work to put this together because we want this to be an evergreen episode and refer people to it. Please feel free to throw us. We got a lot of patrons in there who are already donating, so thank you guys for that. And but if anybody else obviously wants to give a super chat, we have no problem with that, and we'll see where we take the episode from there. All right, so group riding, as most of you know, unless you're a new listener, we are all members behind the scenes here. We are all members of the Sworn Few Motorcycle Club, and a lot of them are involved with Law Abiding Biker Media. We do ride a lot. We've ridden for years together, and we're pretty comfortable with that. There are protocols. Now, the protocols I'm going to talk about, we didn't actually, I would say a few of them. Some of them are pretty standard. Some of them come from my motor officer, the way we ride, but they're just a little bit more in detail than maybe what you find online, and to give you some good tips and tricks on the way a motors unit does it. But I will tell you that most of these, regardless if you're riding in a civilian capacity or, as a motors unit or something like that, these are pretty much across the board, very, very standard. So hopefully this episode will help you out. Not everybody rides in a group, but if you ever get in a situation where you're riding in a group, or I see a lot where people show up to events and poker runs and you're forced to ride in a group, you should know some standard things for your safety. And when people throw up signs, you should know what those mean. So I hope this is very helpful for most of you. I worked hard to make sure I standardized. Now, I'll tell you this. So the way we do it, guys, and you guys saw it this summer, I tried it. We had the California guys. We have a new California chapter, fairly new, down in San Bernardino, California. We rode down there. We had never actually ridden with the guys, and it's like that on our Canada trip too. We may have had a few people that were new to the group. And what I'll do, at least one of the mornings, or if a new person joins us, is I'll give a rider brief. And it's a good reminder, I think, not only for our crew, because you guys are more experienced, but it's a good reminder, and it's an education for people that have never ridden with us. That's a safety issue. If you're riding with people that you've never ridden before and you don't do some kind of briefing, you should be briefing to make sure that they understand the basics. I'm going to make something, and I thought about it when we were in Canada, because I give the speech, I've given it multiple times, and I know the high points, but there's a better way to do it. I'm going to make a cheat card for me with topic highlights to make sure, because there's a couple things in Canada that I forgot to say that I would have liked to say, and to keep it very precise, very to the point, and make sure each time I give that rider brief that it's the same topics and same format. Make sense?
Sure does.
So I don't forget anything. And so we do that on a Canada trip. We may take a morning and I'll say, just a reminder, here's how it works. And especially the California guys, here's how it works. And I will tell you, every time I've done that, I've had guys come up to the side and say, thank you for doing that. I did not know that the guy in the left wheel track is always in charge of the speed. I didn't know. And because you do this, we're going to talk about that, about the right guy get ahead and the left guy. That shouldn't happen, because the left guy in the left wheel track is in charge at all times. He's the captain of the ship. He gets to dictate speed. The right guy gets to follow exactly what he does. And we'll break this down for you guys. Those things can make you look a lot sharper, a lot safer, so you don't know why somebody's doing something if everybody follows the same protocols. I'm thirsty. What do you guys? You guys want to jump in there?
Wet your whistle.
I just wanted to get a good introduction to what we're doing here.
You're doing fine.
Yeah, good job. Wet your whistle and get back to it.
Okay.
It obviously keeps everybody on track. It keeps everybody on the same page. It keeps you safe.
Right.
It also keeps guys aware that are in the back. We're going to get into some of these hand signals, what the different fingers up mean and whatnot. It keeps the guys in the back who can't necessarily see what is coming, half a mile ahead. It gets them aware and ready for whatever might be approaching to.
Yep, absolutely. And so with that, Lurch, I also highly suggest, and we've talked about it in the past, a lot of the hand signals and group riding, which we'll break down, it needs to be practiced. It takes a while. We're at the point where any of our group, we ride together so much. We rode to Canada for 6 days. How long was our Reno trip? 3-4 days?
Yeah, it was only like 4 days. That was
a lot of riding
turnaround.
packed in, though, and long days. when you're
a couple of them were, but we had a couple days where we weren't doing.
True, we had a
couple
down day.
days, but the days we were riding were long days for the most part.
when you're riding a 14-hour day two abreast with somebody, you learn everything about them, and you learn everything. And everybody, I'll say one thing, and especially if you haven't done a lot, when you're riding two abreast, we do a lot of that. Like that's 90%, and then of what we do. And then sometimes on really narrow or sketchy roads, where we really want to hit the corners hard, we'll go staggered. Or of course, if there's construction, we'll go one up, single file. But you learn a lot. And I will say that when you start riding two abreast, everybody's not us anymore, but new guys. And I see it with new motors officers. They're really nervous and they're tense. The worst thing you can do when you're riding two abreast is be tense, number one, but every new guy does it because it just makes for stiffer, quicker movements, and you really don't want that when you're riding, especially when you're riding fairing to fairing. And, you know, when you're riding close, and I know Popeye has done it, and you will bump eventually. It's not something to get scared of. We'll tell you how to get out of that. You bump, you basically push on your outside handlebar, you push away from each other, but you can't freak out. But you will ride 14 hours, and by the time you're done, you're in tandem, I should say. Like there's no one guy moves a little bit and the other guy, you don't even think about it anymore, right? Is that what I'm trying to say? You don't think about it anymore. Like it becomes very natural.
It sounds kind of weird, but you almost become one. You just get used to each other.
You become one, Danielson.
That's right.
With your inner chi. Yes, you become one with the spirit. You become one spirit, as Indian John should be here. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I would agree with that. It's, when we go on these long trips, a lot of times being LD or up in the front leading, and it is. It's I don't even really think about it.
There's zero stress involved in it.
There is. Now, if you jump back with a newer guy or somebody you haven't ridden with as much, you got to take a little. You feel them out a little bit, and it does take a little bit just to get used to that. Me and LD have ridden so freaking much side by side. I mean, literally, we have thousands and thousands of miles with me and him right next to each other. So I'm extremely comfortable with him. Some of the other guys in the group that I haven't ridden as much with as side to side, just because I generally am up towards the front or in the front. When I get back there, they're good riders, but it's still that feeling out factor for just a little bit until you're comfortable with them, and then you're able to take off and not have to worry about it.
Right. And I would say, I agree. And there are different levels, of who you're comfortable with and all that. But I'd say any of us we can get next to. We've ridden enough together, and it's fine. Some of us just end up next to each other more, like you and LD, because you guys, I let you guys lead a lot, which I love. You guys, I don't let you. You guys do lead.
We tell you.
Correct. You basically tell me.
Get in the back, bitch.
Hey, Prez.
Hey, Prez, in the back, bitch.
The reason is I can never lead because, as everybody knows, I do documentaries. Hang on.
The group me going off?
Yeah, I know. I'm sending group me that we're live public and sending them the link in case some of them don't know we're live.
Pubic.
Oh, I said public.
Real pubic.
I said publis. I put we're live publis.
We're live publis.
But because I'm always filming, and I work the group, and I work in and out of the group, and I'm up to the left and I'm in and out, and so I'm always filming our documentaries. So that's why I can't commit to leading. So
riding in and out of the group, going on the wrong side of the road, getting some footage.
I always stay on the right side of the road. Always stay right of center.
When there's a skip line and it's
when
safe to do
there's a legal passing zone, I may go out to get some shots.
It's funny riding with people that have never rode with you, and all of a sudden you're out riding and taking video shots, and they don't know what to do.
No,
it's pretty funny because
that's part of my brief that's going to go on my card.
You're going to have to do that because everybody has to stop, look at you, and give you what?
Peace sign. Or a thumb up. Or because the cuz has to give that.
A little.
Correct.
Just ride.
Just ride.
But it is kind of weird for, the first time when there's this guy that comes up alongside you and he's pointing cameras and crap at you.
And that's something I do need to brief.
Yeah,
I need to have that on my card.
Agree.
Like,
we need to do that.
Don't pay attention to me. You do your thing. I work around you. Maintain your speed is the best thing you can do for me.
Right.
Just look ahead, maintain your speed. If you want to look over and give a piece, that's cool. But don't try to match I hate that. They try to match my speed, and then I'm like, no, you don't slow down. I'm slowing down because I'm trying to get a different shot. You keep going. So we do need to put that on the card. I digress because we're sidetracking, which is good. So yeah, the two abreast thing, you do get very, very comfortable with it. Again, if you do tap fairings, which will happen, like me and Cuz, we've tapped fairings before. We get very close. Oscar, because they tend to be back a little bit sometimes.
Well, the two of them actually do it on purpose.
Correct. Yeah.
I've watched you guys riding together, and you guys like
Correct.
to horse around. And in fact, I don't know if it was you and
it's not
Cuz
horsing
or
around. It's completely
is
professional.
either you and Cuz or no, I think it was you and Oscar. No, you and Cuz that
I
actually
bumped with
locked up.
Oscar.
You guys locked up
That was
highway pegs for a little bit.
That
you?
was Cuz
Yeah.
and Oscar
Yeah, those two locked
on the
up their
Canada
highway
or
pegs.
Reno trip. I can't remember.
Yeah,
Canada.
Oscar's got those really wide highway pegs that have a little hook on them or something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they got intertangled for a minute.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, they tell that story going down the freeway at about 80.
going
Yeah.
yeah, but you don't freak out.
No.
You just keep riding
and push away a little bit.
Yep.
And we do
Separate.
that. We practice bumping in motor school a lot because you're going to do it. So get close enough to bump and just realize that it's going to be okay unless you overreact. Okay, so let's do this. And then we will break it down in maybe some more stories as we go along about how we ride and things we do. It might bring up some good points. Let's talk about.
I see what you're saying. Less BS. Let's get to the point.
Let's get to the signals,
Okay.
and then we'll see
Good
where
call.
it goes from there.
Good call.
Interesting enough, we did not have time all the way back at episode 37. This is how much content we have for you guys that we can only do so much. We are at like episode
160. I just put out.
and that doesn't include the Sons of Anarchy, which was like another 20. So
yeah,
we're
sneaking up on 180, probably 185.
and this was back in episode 37 that this has been pending because we talked about some group writing stuff, but we didn't have time for hand signals, and I saved it that long to get back to it. There you go. We're committed to getting it out to you guys.
We're closing the loop.
The nice thing, one thing, here's what I want to say before we do hand signals. We're closing the loop. I like it. The one thing you might think about if you're going cross country in a group like I said, Canada and Reno this year, this is the one nice thing is have somebody in charge, like a road captain or whoever you have in charge. Rob LD does a very nice job. And every time we go out of state, the very first morning he shows up, he makes sure it's always up to date. He does a nice emergency ride plan. And he gives it to everybody, emergency contact information of everybody's spouses and emergency contact. And we all get a printout and you can email it to whatever. And then he does a nice ride plan. I already have it because I put it into my boombox and everything, but a lot of guys don't have boombox or maybe they don't have an external GPS. At least it shows them the ride plan. If they get split up, where destination is for that day and some basic information. So I would suggest having that in your group. Appoint somebody. Rob takes that on, Law Dog, and I really appreciate that. And he shares the ride plan with us well before the trip. And where do we plan rides, Matt? In Ride Planner.
Ride Planner.
Harley-Davidson free online software. Better yet, we have a very awesome video that's one of our awesome selling videos. People love it. It's our Ride Planner tutorial video. You can get it at lawabidingbikers.com/Harley Boombox. There's our 3 boombox video. The third in the series is the Ride Planner. It'll teach you how to use that online software, how to use it efficiently and quickly, and you can download it and upload it to your Harley-Davidson approved external GPS device or the boombox, and you can share it with friends, and that's what Rob does. He does it in the Ride Planner. We show you how to do that, and then we show you how to share it, how to download it, upload it into your boombox, whatever it is, but you can email it to people. So Rob will email it to me and goes, here's the ride plan, and then he can make adjustments to it and send me a new one if he tweaks stuff.
Usually because I bitch about it, he sends and I go,
Usually I know he's talked
fuck
to you.
this up and
Right.
yeah, don't do this. And
Correct.
He gets all pissed off because he has to go change it. I'm like, what the hell are you thinking here?
Right, I know.
We're already talking about this summer. I'll bet you we've had numerous phone conversation, numerous text information.
Oh, I got some of it on the Canada
text.
documentary. I was just editing of you two bitching at lunch.
Oh yeah. About
'cause-
which way to go or something.
Yeah. Rob says, no, that was in the original ride plan coming up 3A in Canada. No, you're like, no, it wasn't. Rob, no, you came up there because I told you the other way was bad. Rob goes, no, it was in there. And he's getting all pissed. Dude, you guys are actually going at it. So that might make the documentary. I don't know.
Well, I appreciate it because I don't have to do any of it. And when you guys figure it all out, it's a great ride.
It is.
And the rest of us get to enjoy it as you guys are leading and planning the route. So thank you.
It's like, when you're in like a board meeting or you're trying to figure something out, you've got usually have like 5 different types of personalities they try to get in there. There's one person who's like the totally positive person. You got a negative person, the person who throws out all kinds of ideas. I don't know if you've ever been in any training like that. I'm usually the negative Nancy, whatever the hell they called that person.
Negative
with
Nelly is what they call it.
Yeah. So it's like Rob will put his whole thing together and thinks it's great. And I'm like, that's dumb.
Right. That's gay.
That's
Are you playing the devil's advocate or
devil's advocate. Well, no. Usually,
just
usually
the negative Nelly.
Usually I'll look at him and be like, that's fucking stupid. Change that. And, he does. We'll talk about it. And then, we're like, what do you want to do? And he gets pissed because he doesn't like to change his stuff once it's in place.
He's already emailed it to me.
Right. And
that's when I get the new email.
Yeah.
Right.
Nope. Dumb.
Made some changes.
Change this. And so that's usually what happens. But he does a great job of putting stuff together. I will give him that. He does a really good job. And then we fine tune it.
Yeah,
that's to make sure.
Yeah, that's absolutely normal.
Mm-hmm.
You should be bouncing it off another guy, and it's a lot of work. We show you how to use Ride Planner, but when you actually think about once you figure out how to use it, then you're like, okay, how long do we run a ride that day? Do we want to stop anywhere? What about lunches? Do we want to get down before sunset? Do we want to ride in the dark? There's a lot to take into account, and we spend a lot. Rob's already planning. This is how long in advance. We're already planning for our 2018 trip now. He's already been in Ride Planner, starting to drag roads and tweak stuff and waypoints. We'll show you how to do that in our video, guys. And it will take some time, probably by mid-spring, March, April, and it'll probably get tweaked by you. By May, we should have
we've
it.
already been
we go
talking
on our
about
trip
it.
in June. It'll probably be finalized in May. Yeah, you've already been talking about it.
We've been talking about it numerous times already. About where to go, what to do.
Because all of us are asking for our vacation. We're all full-time Leos, and we're asking, its vacation schedules are out, and we're all trying to get the same dates off, which I got it off, by the way, guys. So I'm golden. I just put the vacation schedule in, got it off. So
pretty lucky. You usually can't get anything off.
I'm going. No, I can now. Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. If they talk to my wife.
What? Go right over his head. Didn't
He must have been talking to my wife. Yeah. He wasn't listening. Yeah.
3 more years and I'll have every ride off.
That's right, buddy. That's right. 3 more years to retirement for Lurchy. So with that said,
20, about 20 for me.
Holy shit.
Well, that's my first retirement.
I've been over 30 years.
It'll be my first retirement.
Yeah, I'll do 30.
Yeah. Well, I forgot. Yeah. You got to
3 more is 25 for me.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Yeah.
Old.
I started young.
I got I'm the same year as you because I was just before or just same time as you basically.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. So that's kind of how we set up the trip. Make sure you have some of that stuff in place. Let's talk about hand signals. These are the standardized hand signals, and I'm sure we're going to have some places to go with this, and we're doing good. So thanks, everybody, for being in the live chat. Appreciate it. There's a lot going on in there. We're trying to monitor it and stay on track. Joseph Murray says my vacation bid is next week for 2018 and still up in the air about when and where. Yep, totally. A good old shift bid if you're if you know what that, you guys know what that is. Absolutely. So here's the basic hand signals. Do you want to, Lurch? I've been talking a lot.
Yep.
Why don't you just take it?
I'll take the first 3 there, which is 1, 2, and 3 fingers. So 1 finger up in the air, not your middle finger, Ryan.
Sorry.
Your pointer finger. So you put 1 finger up in the air, and that means single file. When should you use this? Generally, you use that when there's an obstruction in the road, there's some dipshit on a bicycle riding, and they're pushing into your lane, or there's some obstruction.
Damn bicyclists.
That's when you drop
Get out
a
of my
gear
way.
and just fucking redline it when you go by.
And if
That's
you're-
what I usually do.
And maybe give them a
I don't condone that
good
type of
game.
activity is what I meant to say.
and reach out with your right hand, give them a good game.
Oh, yeah.
But
right.
generally, the single file is only used for when there's a really narrow roadway. There's some type of obstruction, whether it's a bicycle rider, there's people walking in the roadway, there is construction. But you slow down, you single file.
Parking lot, going into a parking lot to park, right?
Yeah, a lot of times you'll give the 1 finger to pull in the parking lot. So that we
Just
can
a
all-
really narrow road.
Yeah, just narrow, mainly, whether it's through obstruction or just the way the road's designed. So in the last podcast, we were talking about some real narrow roads in Hawaii. And there's probably several times where you're going to want to go single file.
Now,
and I know that
the other thing before all these on these hand signals is make sure when that first guy puts it up, it's echoed the entire way back. Because the first guy might put 1 finger up and the fourth guy back can't see. So first guy puts it up, everybody puts it up, going all the way back so everybody knows what's about to happen.
Don't do it half-ass. We learned that quickly, especially in motors. Do it with authority. It's
Up,
as high as
point,
you can go. It's one.
exaggerate
Don't
it.
do it quick. Hold it up so everybody can see it. Make sure all your other fingers are tucked in. Make it very distinctive because the last thing you want is confusion because we've all played the game where somebody says something in one guy's ear and it gets to the back and it's a totally right. Remember that game?
I remember that game.
It's communications.
I'm not going to play that game with you because next thing you know, you're trying to undo my belt or something weird.
Popeye told me to undo your belt and take you to the Hawaiian blowholes. I don't know. Dude.
Refer to the last episode.
Refer to the last episode.
Thank you for saying that.
Patrons know what I did because they got to be in on that conversation. The rest of you will wait.
Yes,
for
very
the podcast.
exaggerated, up in the air. Make sure everybody sees it, and everybody does it on down the road. So if there's 40 of you, number 39 sticks his one finger up in the air, so number 40 knows it. And again, that's usually for when the roadway is narrowed for some reason, whether it's design or whether it's by obstruction, or maybe you're pulling into a parking lot.
Yep.
The second is 2 fingers in the air. That's the old peace sign, and that is for 2 abreast. And when you should use that is when there is enough roadway for you to ride 2 abreast, and the roads aren't so curvy that you're trying to push it hard and you could be getting into each other. So most of your riding can definitely be 2 abreast. If you're out in the highways or you're just chilling, having a good time, you can do 2 abreast most of the time. Mm-hmm. So that should be the majority of your riding it as a group. If you're comfortable, I should caveat with that, if you're comfortable. Right. Because there are a lot of groups that will ride staggered, which is the next signal, which is 3 fingers.
Well, so on 2 abreast, I would just want to say, because you're talking about
let's
groups,
talk about 2 abreast. Yeah.
Well, we've talked about a lot in the past.
Let's just talk about breast.
I like breasts. You better be comfortable with riding, 2 abreast if you're going to do that. And you better be a good rider, and you better know the guy and know how he rides as well. But the one thing where I would say is important to ride 2 abreast if you're with a group, of especially any more than 4 people, especially, is a city. You get in some of these cities and you guys are trying to stay together, and maybe the guys in the back don't know where they're going, and it basically triples the length of your group if you're not 2 abreast. If you're riding staggered, boy, it
you're
just
stretched out a lot
gets
farther.
Stretched way out, and then you're missing lights. People are trying to get in between you, and I could tell you all kinds of stories about riding 2 abreast where guys go out to pull out in front of us, and they may be able to see one of the motorcycles, but didn't see the other one. And because you're riding 2 abreast, it actually saved you from a cager pulling out in front of you, because they were able to see you much more like a car. I've actually up front with LD, we've seen that numerous times where guys have went to pull out, but caught like the glimpse of the other headlight and realized, oh, those are motorcycles together, and
there is something
see it.
to be said about, Popeye, good point. See, this is the kind of point.
Especially at night, because if
it
you're
is
riding
2 abreast
at night, then you look like a car.
And that's why we ride 2 abreast a lot with the motors unit for that reason. It keeps you tight. It keeps a tight package. It looks sharp. You're taking up the whole lane. People are less likely to pull out in front of you. Yeah. On the other side of that, be good at it, because if somebody does pull out in front of you, you have
nowhere to go.
Way less ability to
maneuver
and less road lane area to avoid that collision. So it's kind of it's good for those reasons, but it can be bad too. Yeah, for that reason.
Every man for himself at that point.
Correct. Yeah.
And here's the deal: if you're riding 2 abreast, it's your responsibility to maintain your wheel track. Do not come out of your wheel track and come into your buddy, or obviously you don't want to go off the road. So,
what do you mean by wheel track for those?
Okay.
Maybe we don't know what level of people we have. And I also want to remember this, Popeye. You said staggered a lot, but we haven't explained staggered.
We're going to get to staggered next after this.
We haven't got to staggered?
No,
okay, thank you.
We're still talking about 2 abreast.
Gotcha.
We briefly mentioned
2 breasts.
We're never going to get off breasts.
No,
2 breasts.
We're stuck on your 2 breasts.
Wheel track, basically, if you imagine a car, you got wheels on the left side of your car, you got wheels on the right side of your car. Those are your wheel tracks. You can see them grooved into the pavement, to be honest with you. But your wheel track is either, if you're the left bike, you stay on the left half of the road. If you're the right bike, you stay on the right half of the road. And if you cannot maintain your half of the road, if you will, your best option is to slow down or speed up. Do not come out of your wheel track and come into your riding partner. Does that make sense?
You go down before you get in your partner's wheel track. If you're going to go down, you go down on your own.
You eat it. You don't collect somebody else.
Fuck with your partner.
Yeah.
One of you is better than 2 of you down.
Right.
Just go down and eat it.
So if you're going, especially if you're in the right wheel track, it's really imperative, because if you're going through actually it doesn't matter, right or left, but depending on which way you're going around a corner, if you don't come out and swing wide. So let's say we're going through a right-hand curve, and I'm in the right track, Popeye's in the left track. If he goes wide,
you die.
he dies, possibly.
Hit
you know,
a car,
possibly.
head on.
But he does it. But it doesn't necessarily affect me, right? But if I'm in the right track and we're going to right hand curve,
if I died,
well, it made me sad for a minute. But what I'm saying is, I would
you get
not
to the
be.
nearest bar.
Hey, hold on here.
Shots for Popeye.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we'll pull out a little bit out of our 40 for you.
Right.
What I'm saying, let me paint a picture here. If we're going around a right hand curve,
Paint it.
and you're in the left lane and you go wide, it's dangerous for you, obviously, but it's not necessarily dangerous for me. But if I'm in the right track and I swing wide, I'm coming into him and I'm pushing him out of his wheel track. So all I'm saying is, riding two abreast, maintain your wheel track. If you cannot, then you can slow down or speed up, but you should not affect the bike that's on your left or your right. Does that make sense? Does that paint a picture?
Makes sense.
Paint
Painting her up.
All right. Should we move on to the staggered now?
Yeah, unless Popeye, any follow up on that, or move to staggered.
I don't want to die.
Right. Yeah. Right. Correct. Good point.
Stay in your wheel track. Yeah, you leave a wheel track on the left or the right. Doesn't really matter. You could go in a guardrail, off a cliff, whatever. You go off on the, and that's any freaking bike riding, you know, and it's not just because a guy's next to you. But what would really piss me off, and probably piss my wife off, is to know that if like you came out of your lane and knocked me into the fucking semi,
Right.
she'd probably be upset with you.
Correct.
Yeah, I would never leave my wheel track. I will put my bike down or I'll slow down before I get into somebody else's wheel track and push them out of theirs.
And that's
Does that make sense?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Fuck, can you slow down more than you already do?
Probably not. Probably not.
Safety source.
God.
Probably not. I can't. I blew out my right eardrum. I can't ride like I used to. Plain and simple.
Lurch's equilibrium is a
That's
little
true. I
off.
forgot about that.
Yeah, it's
Make you feel bad at all?
No. It sucks. It sucks. Anyways, so
here, hang on. Here's what Popeye said. These are
Moving on
words
to
to live
staggered.
by. Popeye doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
And with that bombshell, we're out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed listening. We are going to catch you next. All right. No, we're not leaving. Okay. That's just Popeye's worldly advice. All right.
Don't die on a bike.
Don't die on a bike.
Don't die.
Go ahead. Next.
So moving to staggered, that would be 3 fingers.
Ooh, that's a
She
loose girl there.
She likes some girls. Some girls I don't.
Or she likes to party all the time.
Oh, yeah.
The 3 finger. Is that the shocker? Isn't
Well,
that the
That's
shocker?
not really a shocker.
No.
Oh no, it's 2 fingers for the shocker.
Well, that's 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink for the shocker.
Okay, it's ridiculous.
We're giving out good information here.
Oh yeah, quality information here on the Law Abiding Biker podcast tonight. Okay, explain staggered first so people know. We know what that means immediately, but
So staggered is you're going to run your left guy, your which would normally be your pace setter. Your left guy is going to be still the pace setter, but the right person to him is about a bike length behind him generally. Now he's obviously on the right tire track. And then your next bike, your third bike, would be in the left tire track, approximately a bike behind that guy that was in the bike, or behind the number 2 guy. So it just goes all the way all the way back to the back like that.
Right.
One in each tire track, approximately a bike behind the other.
so tell me this, Popeye.
I'll tell you. Go ahead.
So if we're riding 2 abreast and I hold up, and I'll tell you guys the signal because you guys are watching on video, and I'll explain it for podcast format too. Don't just hold up 3 fingers. Mostly when we hold up 3 fingers, people want to think that you hold up your index finger, your middle finger, and your ring finger, right? That's very hard to see, and it can kind of come together. So make sure that you do it with your index finger and you make a loop with your thumb. So you're
Kinda
basically
like the meat looker.
kind of like, the meat licker. So if you were going to look through your eye, and then your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky are the 3 that are up, because you see the difference, you that are watching, how wide I can get that. And people see this. This can get really, with just the 3 fingers like we normally want to do, it can get very confusing. So make sure you do it as high and wide with this type of format, right? So
I was just trying to figure out why your fingers are all the same length.
because they're
weird.
They're little sausages.
That's so weird.
I got little sausage fingers straight up. So that's the staggered.
Little smokies.
So Popeye, with that said, so we're riding 2 abreast, which is 2 fingers up the peace sign.
Right.
And all of a sudden I'm leading up in the left wheel track and I dump a staggered with the 3 fingers up. How does that happen? Does the right guy fall back or the front guy go past him? How does it work?
The right guy falls back.
Absolutely. And it
yep,
keeps going from there.
Yep, exactly. So the right guy falls back, and then the guy that was
the next 2 abreast,
the next
that
2
right
abreast
guy
that were
falls
behind
back.
him, next right guy falls back, And so the guy who was just behind you that was in the left-hand tire track stays in the left-hand tire track, but he just stays right behind, approximately a wheel behind on the opposite side of the road. Same lane, obviously.
Yeah.
But approximately, a bike width.
And vice versa, if we're running staggered and I throw a 2 abreast, every right guy on the right starts moving up to his partner on the left. And it's very seamless and it's very cool looking if you do it right, and you do that a lot. So, all right. So I think we've explained that. So
the only thing you haven't said is why would you go staggered?
That was my next question, and you are all over it. It's all your show.
Why would we go staggered, or why would
anybody?
Well,
what's the purpose of going staggered?
Well, I mean, a lot like I was starting to mention earlier is that some groups will ride staggered. They're not comfortable riding 2 abreast.
Correct.
But what it does is it gives you the ability to have a little bit more of an escape route, so you can move
roads
left,
with a lot of corners.
You can move right, so you could be getting into some really tight corners
where you want to go a little faster, but you don't want to have to pay attention to your partner so much.
Right, and because it's tight and you could swing a little wide, it gives you that little bit of lee room, so you're not going to be pushing your riding partner out of the way. So
like Canada,
or where else we've done it is like
or a road you've never been on before.
I don't know about that, but
I do.
Oh yeah, it's safety source.
Jeez, he's all over you. Matt, you got nothing?
Really scenic areas. Like I believe we're going through one of these national parks and stuff all the time.
Done that, yeah.
We've been through a lot of national parks, and generally when we go through a national park, we'll stagger it just because guys are looking around and they don't want to have to worry about running the guy next to them. Gives you just some more room,
breathing room,
right?
Yep. To enjoy the scenery.
Because when you're riding 2 abreast, it takes a lot of focus and a lot because you're watching the guy in front of you.
You don't want to just look out to the right, yeah,
right. And so what Popeye's saying is in a scenic area, you want to look around. You want to have that ability to have a little bit of room to maneuver, and 2 abreast takes
wiggle room.
Yeah, 2 abreast takes a lot of concentration, and if you're doing that in like you said, a national park, you're going to miss some of the scenery.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Yep, and we do that, and we did it in Canada. I'm just Russell says some really cool overhead video, shots of this would be cool. Eventually,
why don't you bring your truck up here and do that for us, Russell?
I got more time.
Follow us behind like Knight Rider in the back of the truck or something, and
right,
go along, and you can fly it behind us.
I got more ideas than time, is what I responded. Yeah, no, that would be a cool video. Eventually. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that could come loose and slap to your paint. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father-son team designed something really special that you can't find anywhere else. Yup, and these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick attach system. Once you use a Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Head over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. That's lawabidingbiker.com/store. So yeah, the staggered, that would be good. I think those would be the majority of time. Sketchy road, narrow road, want to see the scenery, all that kind of stuff. Okay, So let's talk about, let's just move on to U-turn.
Before you do U-turn, you'd probably want to make sure you're in your single file too.
Perfect. So
just saying.
Yep. So if you were going to do a U-turn, which I'm not going to lie to you, we've done a lot of U-turns going through.
You know what though? We're doing less of them. We're doing less of them because we have,
and I love them because it's fun. I actually enjoy it.
We got the boom.
I love it.
Looks good.
It's fun.
It is,
and I laugh.
Yep.
And I have a GoPro on, and I get to see more of the city. It doesn't annoy me at all. Some guys get all mad, like, "What the?" And I always tell them, I'm like,
"Who cares?
Are you
leading?"
Riding. No, that's why I tell them. I look over and go, "You can lead at any time," because I try to give these guys a break because they're leading, and sometimes the GPS tells you late, or like when we were going to Reno, we went to North Bend. Well,
we ended
up at this. Last time me and Matt went, we ended up at the same brewery, but it's not the brewery you want to go to.
I heard this on a podcast before. I was laughing like these sons of bitches.
There's the actual brewery where they brew the beer, and then there's a pub where they serve the beer.
Yeah.
And we've been to it wrong twice.
Well, you guys told me you're fucking thirsty, so I was taking you to the big vats of beer. You could just drink it right out of there.
Very nice of you, sir.
You're gonna get you the wholesale version.
No. That's always the music I want to play.
Shit show.
So if you do have to do a U-turn, yes, number one, you're going to end up in a big group, and you've got your guys, and it's stressful leading sometimes, especially once you get into town. I get it.
It is. That's what guys don't realize.
That's why I don't say anything about it.
If you just drop back to number 2, Yeah, there's really no stress. When you're up in the front, you're worried about what all the guys in the back are thinking.
Right.
Should we be passing?
Are you keeping your speed good enough for everybody? Are they according?
Are we going too fast? Are we going too slow? Should we pass this guy? Should we turn here? There's always something to be thinking about. You always think about what the hell's everybody. Yeah, do we have enough room to pass? Mm-hmm. There's always shit you're thinking about. It's not just an enjoyable laid back and you're just kicking it, when you're the guy who's a couple people back. It's stressful being up in the front.
Well, I appreciate it because you and Rob do an outstanding job. So.
And that's why
I know.
That's why
we do it.
I appreciate the fact that you're so humble.
He's just so humble. He's just a humble
Pretty
guy.
much a big deal.
Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble.
Dan Thompson says he does
every way.
Dan, in the chat, Dan Thompson says he does U-turns under the covers.
Nice, dude. Dude.
Yeah, Russell Roberts said, wasn't it Popeye that did a U-turn in the middle of San Francisco?
Correct.
Kind of.
He got the whoop whoop.
Yeah, kind of. I was blocking traffic.
Whoop, yeah. So Cal in the house, Dan Thompson. That's right. So yes, he likes to call Scott Clark says I like to call U-turns the scenic route.
Usually that's what I usually do too. Let's go visit this sumbitch another time. That was such a good view going through the first time.
Exactly.
Ride back through, check her out again.
That's why I never bitch because I have led and I know I actually could care less. And I tell guys if you can lead at any time if you have a complaint and they'll be real quick.
Yeah, you can't complain if you've never led.
Nope. If you've never, because everybody who leads will get turned around. So yeah, if you're going to do a U-turn and you anticipate it, you want to get in single file 1-up sign real quick. And then of course the U-turn is just the circle. It's the 180 circle. It's just we're going to do a U-turn. You can just do this. You
Imagine
can do
a cowboy throwing a lasso.
Throwing a lasso. Yeah. Do you like my style?
No, look at it. Looks pretty weak over there.
You got to get some wrist action into it.
No, that's a little limp-wristed.
You want to go this. Not
get it up there. Come on, get a circle going. Come on now.
Get it up, cowboy.
You are not a cowboy.
Easy. Get it up, cowboy. This is what you heading to Portland here this weekend or what?
No doubt, dude. Straight up. Some weird action going on down in Portland. Just straight up, dude. All right. So, so that's pretty easy on a U-turn. You got to give some time. You can't make an immediate U-turn. You can't throw a 1-up sign and then a U-turn. That's something that I'd rather wait a couple blocks, anticipate it and go, okay, we are effed up here. And I know you guys do that as a leader. We are effed up here. We got to make a U-turn. Try to eye where that's, especially the bigger the group you have. Okay, let's get everybody in single file. Let's look for a good place. Don't try to hurry stuff like that because you can get guys hurt, and stuff like that. Make sure you give everybody time to do that. So,
and the other thing is that some guys aren't good enough to just whip it around right in the middle of the lane either.
Correct.
For a U-turn.
Correct. So, and especially your riding ability. We are working on some training, me and Oscar, for our club to get guys doing a lot tighter turns, low speed turns without.
Oh, we got Pussy. Oh, disregard Pussy coming in here.
Buddy.
No, that's Buddy.
Get up.
That's sorry, not the buddy. Cat. That's the dog.
Sorry, buddy.
Get up on the couch.
Sorry, buddy. You look like a cat.
He was on the
sofa
on the last episode on the patron only, but he must have, he'll come over.
Someone was asking earlier when we started this thing, like, where the hell's the studio dog at?
Here he comes.
He's coming up, getting a view. There you go, studio dog in the house.
He's like 18 years old, which I didn't realize.
He is old, dude.
He's old.
And
you got him when he was old.
He's pretty deaf. He's pretty blind, guys, but he's happy. And that's all that counts, right? He's happy and he loves podcasting, but I dread the day we lose Buddy the studio dog. So that's a U-turn. So let me talk about switch position. So if you're riding two abreast, which we do a switch, but we don't do it a lot in our club. It is necessary sometimes.
We do it when you're filming.
Correct. And where Popeye and I will see LD do it, and I've done it with LD too, where I know where we're going. We're up front. We're getting close to destination. I know exactly where we're going. I have it in my GPS or it's something I've planned. I know a bar we want to go to or whatever. I will, if I'm in the left wheel track, so let's say Popeye, you're in the left wheel track, you're leading, I'm in the right wheel track. I look over at Popeye and I'm like, okay, I need to be the leader. Popeye needs, even though we're two abreast, he needs to follow me. What I do is a left-right switch position. And so I'll look at Popeye and I'll just put up my pointer finger and my middle finger and I'll literally cross him and I'll keep doing it. And this one's kind of hard to see, but it's not because you're right next to each other. So just get next to each other, and I do it about 4 times on the motors unit. I'll do this back and forth, cross fingers, index and middle finger, or pointer finger and middle finger back and forth. That means we're going to switch.
You rotate your wrist too? I usually rotate my wrist like that. Just kind of back and forth, left and right.
That's fine too. You can do that at the same time. We do the fingers. Either is the same thing. So that's a good point, Popeye. So that's a switch. Basically what happens at that point is, as usual, the right guy in the right wheel track. Now we know we made eye contact. We're going to switch. The guy in the right wheel track drops back. The guy in the left wheel track maintains his speed. As soon as he sees the guy on the right drops back, the guy on the drop back moves into the left wheel track. At the same time, the guy in the left wheel track moves to the right wheel track. Then the guy in the left now moves up and takes the left position. And now you're two abreast again in a switched position. You can do that anywhere in the group. We do it a lot because we want to see different scenery when we're riding motors and we're going to do an escort in another city and we want to switch positions just because I want to be on the right for a while because I want to see the scenery. We'll do a switch. So you can do that. Any two abreast riders can do that. When a guy does that, that doesn't mean the whole group does it.
That's what I was
That just
say.
means that that particular,
just the pair.
Just the pair. So each pair has the ability to switch within. You do if you are riding behind them in a pair and you see them ahead though, and you see them do that, you need to give them a little room.
Yep.
Because you're like, okay, they're going to switch. Those two abreast riders, the left rider should realize to back off speed a little bit to give them room so the right rider ahead of them can drop back and they can make this maneuver. Make sense? So that's a switch position.
Well, you said the left rider would slow down. The left rider.
Correct. No, the left. So I know what you're saying, but here's what I'm trying to explain. So let me clean it up. So if me and Matt are riding behind you and LD, and I see you and LD make the position that you're going to switch, and I'm on the left and Matt's on my right, I need to back off because I need to back me and Matt off.
Right.
So that you two have the room. So I get where that can be confused.
I thought you were trying to say those front guys.
Right.
Usually when we're doing it, that left guy will speed up.
And
if
there
you're
you
the
go.
very
Exactly.
front left, if you're the front left and right guys, that left guy will speed up.
That will help give you the room. Yes.
And then the right guy up in the front,
and it all
either
happens,
maintains or slows down just a touch, and then he scoots over.
Yes, and that's a good point. Yes, left guy can speed up, right guy can drop back again. It's actually pretty seamless and pretty quick. You don't need a lot of room. Usually the guys behind are just anticipating how much room they need. So that's good. Thank you to clean that up. So you may or may not have to drop back, but we're always ready.
Well, it's easier if you're
room.
in the front because you can speed up and make room. But if you're in the middle of the pack,
depending on how much room, depending on how close
if
you're
the
riding.
front two bikes, you can speed up and make room.
Correct.
But if you're in the middle of the pack, it's a little bit harder.
If you're riding tight.
That's why those guys behind the pair switching need to back off.
Yep, and be ready.
Yeah.
You'll be able to anticipate it. You'll be able to go, oh, they have enough room. Nope, they don't have enough room.
And you can always, if you're in the middle of the pack, you just slow down. And then,
you can make your room.
Left guy slows down. And then, the right guy maintains, the left guy can speed up. He
starts
cuts
making
over,
a gap for yourself
make your own gap
before you do it. Nice call. Yep.
Sure.
And this all happens pretty seamlessly. It sounds a little more complicated than it is when you're out there.
Pretty freaking easy, really.
It is pretty easy, and you'll have plenty of room. And once you ride together with guys like this, it's not that big a deal. You just kind of feed off each other and realize what each other are doing. So
it's just a little harder for us to paint the picture in your mind so you know what we're talking about.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. So let's do this real quick, and we will get. Oh, we got still a lot to talk about, guys. Who wants to do this?
Buddy's studio dog's licking his balls on the couch. I wish I could do that.
Nice, dude.
Hey,
if we could all do that.
Bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products, Zero 3D has just what you're looking for. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome, lighting, comfort products, and more. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. Zero 3D has a design team with over 40 years experience with a passion for design and innovation. These guys are bikers, and they care about bikers just like you. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@ciro3d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027-0027. Zero 3D is distributed in the United States by Drag Specialties, in Europe by Parts Europe and Zodiac, and in Asia by Twin Art. Check out your local HD dealership and ask for Zero Parts. Better yet, help us and support us by heading on over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products.
Big Daddy Kane and Grunt have them in stock, ready to ship to you right this very moment. That's right. Hook us up, guys. We will hook you up. So All right, so
I got something to say here. One of the guys in the chat. So we were talking about Buddy, the studio dog, licking his own or licking his balls, and I said, "I'm jealous. I wish I could do that."
all guys are jealous that we can't do that.
Yeah, but freaking
the other Chris Rock apparently is funny.
Chris Rock says you wish you could lick Buddy's balls. Weird,
but he would bite you.
Oh God, that's right on track.
Yeah,
that's right on track. What this episode's about. And don't forget, guys, if you want to throw us a super chat, that money sign on the bottom, let us know you appreciate what we're doing here. And your comment gets posted as we see earlier, right on the super chat. There you go, guys. All right, so where were we? So switch position.
After switch.
Yep, let's talk.
Actually, it was Ross Tomes. Sorry, I got to give the credit. Tomes is the one said he would bite us.
He would bite us. That's awesome, dude. Scott Clark, I'm jealous. Oh, yeah. Yes, Joe, I've been waiting a long time for this. Oh no, he's not saying it. Actually, he's not saying it to that. He's saying it to something else. Sorry, that was misinterpreted. Congrats, David, to get us moving to the embassy in Jerusalem. Oh, they got a cool.
Yeah, David Schwartz in Israel, by the way.
Yeah, he
woke up 6 a.m. there.
Very cool. Thanks for mentioning some of that. I love getting all the guys involved here. So, all right, so let's talk about parking. This is a debacle for a lot of groups that I see, and there's some very specific techniques. The first thing about parking and low speed riding is practice. You all see it at events and that's fine. And I'm not dogging anybody if you do that, because if you've never trained, you really don't know how else to do it. And that's the guy that has his feet out and he's riding down the parking lot with both of his feet.
Looks like a duck landing.
And he's trying to park and he's duck walking. Again, we're not making fun of that. Everybody's a different level. We're fortunate. We've had some training. Obviously, we train a lot. When I'm working on a motor. So we are trying, and we train a little bit for that. We want to do a little bit of extra training, but our club's pretty good about not doing that. It's sloppy, it looks crappy, and it actually delays the entire group. You don't really need to put your feet down at all until you're actually at a complete stop. Then you put your feet down. And that just keeps things flowing. It keeps it tight. And you don't have a lot of sketchiness going on in the group. So parking, that's the number one thing, is make sure you know how to low speed ride and know how to completely stop before you put your feet down, or right as you're stopping 1 foot down, is what we suggest. So speaking of, I need to make a note on that.
On what?
Putting your feet down. All right. Okay. So parking single file. Here's the deal. So you go into a parking lot, and let me I didn't mean to do that. Let me talk about the parking. So obviously when you go into parking, if you're going to a, establishment, first of all, you got to look at what is available, and that can get really sketchy quick in big cities. So you may, depending on your group size, you may just have to split up, and that's fine. There's no real way to do that other than tell your guy, you got to Popeye's out. He's got to get a drink. That's fine. So you're fine. So there's no other way to do that other than try to see. And if there's not enough parking spots, so let's say 4 of us got to park and the other 4 didn't. That guy now takes the lead and he moves to and goes around the block and tries to find another parking spot. And if there's only 3 there, then 3 more guys break off. You just have to anticipate that. But going into a parking lot, the main thing is you're single file, you're 1 up, get them in 1 up before you go into a parking lot. And if I'm going in and I'm trying to do this visually, Lurch, for the recorded podcast listeners, but if I'm going to go in and I'm going to park and I want everybody to park to my left. So I'm going in and I want everybody, and I'm making a kind of a 90-degree turn, and then you got to back up into your parking stall.
Yep.
I basically have my whole hand up, okay, and all my fingers up pointed, and I just do this straight up in the air right now, and I just go left to the 90-degree down towards the ground. So from up to left 90-degree down, that means I'm telling everybody, you will park on my left side. I have to leave enough room, so I'm going to park in the farthest spot.
Right.
Everybody's going to come in around me, and we're going to single file all the way down to the left. Opposite, I want you to park to my right. Maybe we're coming into the right, or I'm going to do it. Sometimes you do a U-turn, but it's fine. Even if I anticipate that we're going to do a U-turn and park, whichever side I want you on, it's straight up, and it's down to the right to the 90, a very definitive. And that way they know, even if I do a U-turn, I'm going to put myself in the first spot. It can get sketchy, depends on how you do it, but that is the side that you're going to park on. So,
and usually for a group, the easiest thing is for the leader to take the last spot or the farthest spot,
yes.
And you leave all the other ones. That way you go to the end,
yes.
You do a 90-degree turn, Stop
Yes.
and back up, and everybody comes up to your left, does the same thing, takes a 90-degree
Yes.
turn, and backs up. So for you guys that are listening, if you're in a group, the easiest thing to do is for that leader to take the last spot and leave all the closer ones for the rest of the train.
So I can say, even for our club, this is one of the most frustrating things for me coming in, because everybody always has their own idea. It's like, I'm coming in and, it's like, okay, I'm looking at these parking spots. We can fit 4 bikes in one stall. And I'm kind of looking at them. I'm going to come in here, and then somebody from the back inevitably
Passes you.
oh yeah, fuck this guy. We're going up around. I'm going to park over here. They always got to do it.
Yeah. We can
And-
work. We can definitely work on it.
Oh, yes. There's always room for improvement, and we've definitely improved over time, but we still get some of
Frickin'
that.
Russell Roberts coming through with a super chat.
Did he really?
Yeah, he just did.
Holy shnikes. Thanks for monitoring that. Russell,
Always.
the thing is,
Love that guy.
Russell's a freaking patron already, Russell, and that's why we're just, and he knows, I'm so humbled. I'm just like, he was in Canada with us, and he helped so much, and then he goes and throws a $50 on top of a freaking being a patron.
$50 holla.
This is real good info for all of us. Thank you. We work.
Stop it, Russell.
And I know we love you, Russell. We love you. And this is the thing is it's just, and we do work hard to we try to put this information together for people. And that's the one thing I didn't do in Canada. I did. The second day in May. Yeah. Russell was with us. I did did I do it in Canada? I can't remember if I ever did a ride thing in Canada. I know I did with our group where I give my ride brief in the morning.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, you were every
Okay,
morning.
I did.
Every morning you get a brief. Ed got a prayer, and we got on the road.
Okay. I just wonder, we've done so many trips.
With his backhanded comment towards God every
Yeah. Well,
Oh, I have one with you too, Papa. I was just editing the Canada thing where your bug slide. I go, dude, when you ask the Lord of something, he does not wait on you. And you're over there bug sliding. I go, the Lord is waiting. We're praying. The Lord doesn't say, no, I'm not going to answer
Hold
that
on,
right now.
I gotta
I'm
wipe
not gonna
down my
answer
bike.
that. Hang on,
I
Papa.
need to wipe
I'm
my
not going
bike
to answer
down.
that right now. I got to wipe my bike. Well, the Lord, and you said, well, the Lord's waiting this morning, and you're trying to finish your bike. So it's pretty funny, dude. Thank you, Russell Roberts. Humbled.
Thank
Love
you,
you,
Russell.
brother. Love you, brother.
Man.
Okay. So, two abreast switch position up. Okay. So we did parking. I just want to make sure how did I parking? Oh, so here's the thing I wanted to set home, and maybe we should have started with this, which doesn't matter. I kind of did. Here's the thing. If there's one thing you can remember about riding two abreast, this is what a lot of people screw up with if they haven't ridden or they don't know the rules. The guy in the left wheel track, and our guys forget it too now and then, and you're like fighting for position. So you're got two abreast, one guy will back up, the next guy will back up, then one go forward, then one go back. It's so easy, and it will take all the stress out of it if you follow this rule, and everybody knows this is the rule. The guy in the left wheel track always sets the pace, period. Number one, the guy in front of the group in the very left wheel track sets the entire pace for the group. Additionally, each pair behind that, the guy in the left wheel track sets the pace. So if he wants to move up a little bit, you move up with him. If he wants to back off a little bit, you back off with him. He's in charge. The guy in the left wheel track is the captain. And the only exception to that would be like if you see a danger or something, of course we don't,
I got a story about that. One of the last rides, and it started to get cold because we hadn't ridden in like a month, a couple weeks at least. They started putting the shit down on the roads. They put de-icer down on the roads up in our area.
Slick.
It's slick.
If they do
It's
it
like a
wrong, it's
film.
slick. If
Yeah.
they do it wrong.
Yeah.
The state's really good at it. Sela in this town, they screwed up and there was
They just put it on
accidents
too heavy.
all over, dude. There was like rear enders and people sideways. They did it wrong.
Generally,
Put it on
generally
real
speaking,
heavy.
a lot of cities put it on too heavy.
No, state knows how to
Because
do
they're
it.
not going fast enough. If you're out on the state highway, you can do 60 miles an hour, be putting it down a lot thinner.
Right. Yeah, right.
And the other thing is that I won't
digress.
ride my bike out when that shit goes down because it'll eat your chrome up.
Yeah.
They say it's non-corrosive. Bullshit. I got a couple wheels from old trucks to show you that it's corrosive.
Especially if they mix it a little wrong. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They don't all have it dialed in on the mixture. Yes.
So anyway, left guy setting the pace, left guy, safety, hazards, all that shit. I was riding with Sarge and we were heading up towards Chelan, and I saw a car. There was a car in front of us, and then the next guy was turning. So there was two cages in front of us. The lead car started, I could see his left turn signal go on. So I started backing off. And Sarge keeps on going. He turns around. He's like looking over his left shoulder at me like
what are you doing?
Why are you slowing down, dumb shit?
Uh-huh.
And, I'm like, I just keep maintaining. Do I point forward to warn him of a hazard? Do I just maintain, let him figure it out? But Yeah, that second car starts braking, and Sarge about ate that guy's bumper because he's not paying attention to what was going on for him. He's looking at me. He said he thought that I was having an engine problem or something. Was looking back at me. Yeah.
See,
that's a good point. As the guy on the left setting the pace, if your partner to the right drops off all of a sudden, maybe he sees something you don't. You might
Same with
back
on the right.
too.
If for some reason that guy on the right even backs off, right away.
That's what I'm saying.
Something got seen.
Yeah, because we're talking about the left one setting the pace.
Right.
So if the guy on the right backs off all of a sudden, as the left rider, you might want to pay attention. You might miss something.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, good call. A lot of guys are talking. Yeah, we got good old rock salt here in Ohio. Yeah, and if you guys don't know, you sunny people who don't get snow, de-icer is like, if you don't know, it's a chemical, and they lay it down before they think a snowstorm's coming, and it helps from underneath. But
very effective if they get it down at the right time. It keeps the roadway from freezing up.
Yes,
but
it's a chemical reaction. And it keeps the road somehow insulated. I don't know exactly how it works.
Doesn't work.
Chemist.
Yeah, it doesn't work under a certain degree though either. It gets down to like 15 or something like that, and that shit will actually start freezing.
Yes, right. Yes. So they have to really monitor the weather. But
it's a liquid.
It sucks on bikes because even if they lay it down right, it's sketchy on a motorcycle. It's sketchy, and you have to be really careful.
Hard to clean off your bike.
Yeah,
and corrosive, like you say.
Right.
The non-corrosive brand is corrosive.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Well, what happened was here in Washington State, they got sued several years ago, some class action lawsuit of tearing up rigs, and they're, it's non-corrosive. Well, look, dumb shit, I got a bunch of stuff I can show you where that it corroded the hell out of it.
It ate the crap out of a bunch of the state patrol's cars, all the wiring underneath.
Heard that.
Yeah. Ate a bunch of them up.
Wow.
All the wiring that was underneath the cars.
No shit.
Yeah,
it's non-corrosive though.
It's non-corrosive, but those guys are out there. Those guys are out there all the time, running up and down the road, so they get exposed to it a lot, and it was eating up the wiring underneath the cars.
This is another. That's crazy. Tar snakes. Scott Clark. Yeah, Scott. We have a lot of tar snakes.
Watch out for those.
Yes. In the summer, tar snakes. The little tar they put down to fill the roadways. They feel sketchy. We actually train on tar snakes. You'd be surprised how much you can do on tar snakes if you can get over the mental feel of your bike, because it feels
allows your bike to move.
A lot of guys overreact. I'm certainly not saying that's what happened in your case. Okay, so please, I'm certainly not saying that's what happened in your case, but that's what happens. You can actually do a whole bunch of really aggressive riding on tar snakes because unfortunately we have them in our course, and every time I do it, it's horrible feeling. You have to mentally fight through that you'll be okay and that your tire will catch the traction you need. Of course, that depends on how big they are and things like that. So I get it. So please, I'm not saying that. But yeah, tar snakes are just a really shitty feeling. In the summer when it's 90 and they're soft and you're going around a corner at 80, it's a shitty feeling. All right. So not getting off track.
Oh, no, we still have a couple to wrap up before we get done here.
So upcoming turns, here's what we do on the motors unit. We try to plan out our ride. That's really easy if you're going local and you're like, we're going to this restaurant. We're going to go up Nob Hill. We're going to go south on First Street, whatever. That's great. It doesn't matter. Even if we do that, we still, before every turn, the guy in the front in the left wheel track does a really quick, all his fingers. He may really quick just do a point to the right to get the attention of his rider, because you can forget and you get daydreaming. So we always, before a turn, it doesn't matter. I know it's coming up. I know we're going to turn right on First Street. And you guys see me do this in the group. And I'll reach out real quick and I'll do the maybe 3 or 4 with the wrist and the hand and all my fingers to the direction I want to turn, whether it's my left hand or right hand. Sometimes you have to have your hand on the throttle so you can't take it off. So I'll use my right hand. You can come up over the head. That's fine too. We do that when we're exiting freeways, right? You do the YMCA. That would be the C, right? The C.
I don't know. Why don't you show me?
We're going the YMCA.
Okay, if I'm ever in a position where I need to do that now, I know.
Right.
Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So you can do it over the head. We're going here. We can also, like I say, sometimes you have to be on the clutch or whatever. You can simply do your wrist and all your fingers to the direction you want to go. Clearly on a freeway, it's really easy because you're in cruise control or whatever to do the very 3 distinctive C, over the head pointing which direction you're going to go. You'll see that a lot. Always do it. Even if you think the guy knows where you're turning, because if he doesn't know, it can get very tragic very quick. You have to, and make sure he sees you. He'll look over, and what we do on motors is I'll go 3 to the right real quick, and my guy on the right will go, he'll shake his head, nod up and down. That means he just says, I acknowledge you. I know where we're going. You got to have that communication, because you can usually sometimes get out of it, but sometimes you can't. So make sure you're doing that. when you're turning. Just always, even if you think you know where you're going, that will keep you in check. It will make sure you're both on the same page of music as far as that go. I want to talk. We've still got some stuff to talk about, but I want to. Yeah,
I got one thing here that you don't have on there, and it's pulling out
bullshit.
When you're sitting at a stop sign, it's time to take off and turn.
That's next right here.
Oh, is that in there? Tips, tricks, and hey, there it is.
Settle down, cowboy.
Hey,
settle it down.
Ease back into that pony.
I'll simmer down now. Simmer down now.
Oh my god, dude.
I'm out.
No, it's good. I'm glad you brought that up because it is coming next, dude. So, here's the thing, and this is something guys got to know. This is our particular motors unit. The way we do it, we kind of found out the hard way on a couple times. Nobody got hurt, but if you're so when we pull up to an intersection, and this is dependent on whether you're wearing a half helmet, a modular, or a full face. That's why I suggest modular or half helmet. If you're going to go full face like I do, at least get a modular because it gives you the ability to pop it up and communicate when you're in town with your riders that you're riding two abreast with or whatever in a group setting. So here's my safety tip to you. When you pull up to an intersection, you always, if you're two abreast, you need to decide whether to go or not. And I know you have a story. I know it happened to you.
Sturgis.
I know. And I remember the story, so I want you to tell it in a minute. And this is why you don't do it, and you have to be careful. So
got an ice cream cone out of it, though.
That's all that counts, dude. Should have been a beer. But, all right. So when you're at the intersection and you're looking left, you're looking right, both your front rider and your left, you're two abreast, you're both looking because you got to protect each other because one guy might see something the other. And again, you have to make sure you go at the right time. So what we do is we both look both ways, and the left rider is the one that's going to call it. Okay. The right rider is not going to call it, but he is certainly going to stop the left rider if he sees something that he doesn't see. And so instead of saying go, we always do that's why we pop our modulars up and we do a very definitive, okay. Okay. We don't say go. The reason we don't say go is go sounds like no. And we want to have a distinct difference, a distinction between okay and no. Does it make sense? So we use okay instead of go because it sounds like no. So if we're going to go, I will very definitively shake my head in the yes nod position and I will say, okay. And as long as it looks okay, the right guy's going to go with me. But if that right rider all of a sudden says, no, that means he sees something I don't and I have to stop. If he said go, I might think he said go. And that's why we do not use go. It's okay or no. And unless the left rider is in error, the right rider doesn't say nothing. The left rider just shakes his head. Yes, I'm good. Okay. And everybody goes. The only time you would chime in, or the left rider could be ready and say, okay. And then go, no. And do it more than twice. Do it 3 times. No. And that's a very definitive, we know, okay, somebody came around the corner fast and we can't go now. The other caveat I will give to this is it's very dependent on your group size, because if you're at a 4-way stop and you're going to say, okay, you may want to have enough room so that all your group can get through the stop sign without stopping. Makes sense? So you go as a package is what we call it in the motors unit. Everything we do is as a package. So 2 bikes don't go and then wait at the 4-way stop, and 2 bikes go. We go as a unit, and that's why we stay very close. Which is much easier to do
at a 4-way stop because it's controlled all the way around.
Correct.
If it's a 2-way stop, you don't want to necessarily go as a package because
you go as a package if you can. But it depends on the busy street and what city.
It's much easier to go on a 4-way stop.
So on a side note,
no
can get confusing sometimes. No can seem like go.
Right.
Especially like in consensual sex.
Jesus
like
Christ.
You're talking about,
ask Al Franken.
Says, right.
Ask Al Franken or Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer knows.
Yeah. It's no.
You just lock the door.
No, don't stop. No, don't stop. No.
I'm confused. No, don't stop or stop.
Right. You get fucking confused. I mean, shit.
No, don't stop or don't stop.
You got secret video from Matt Lauer's office where he can lock his door, didn't you?
Dude, straight up I did. Yeah, dude.
That's impressive. You cut a button, he just pushes to lock it.
Hey, they're
so you can hear her. No, don't stop.
No, I'm confused.
Don't stop.
What am I doing here?
Shit, are we going or are we stopping?
I see where you're going with this. I thought you had a legit point. But
he's going to get there eventually.
Right, yeah.
So the story you were talking about in Sturgis, me and LD are coming up.
3 years ago, right? 2 years ago?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 2-3 years ago. we're in Sturgis and we're riding, and we're coming up to it was a 4-lane road. There's 2 lanes in each direction, but we came up to a stop sign. We were going to be taking a right. So we're taking a right onto a 2-lane, into the 2 lanes in our direction. There was a car on our left-hand side as we pulled up to this stop sign, and LD, we stopped, didn't do an extended stop, but we came up, we stopped, and he couldn't see through the car, and I'd gotten a glimpse of a car that was being blocked by the car that was on our left-hand side. And he started to go. That car was in the right-hand lane. He's doing 60 plus miles an hour. And LD started to go to take out, to pull out into the road. And I'm yelling, no, no, no. And luckily he stopped. He trusted me and he stopped. And that car right by in front of him. And yeah, I got a ice cream cone out of it though a couple years later. In Canada.
A rainbow colored ice cream cone.
Yeah.
They ate it together.
It was delicious. We're
LD
on the ferry.
licked off
Before
one
getting
side.
ready to get on the ferry,
I
an
have
ice cream cone.
I have it on the documentary. I already edited it. Yeah.
That's good.
I recall that. That's why he bought you an ice cream cone.
That is why he brought me an ice cream cone.
Well, if you saved my life, I probably would have bought you a half gallon of whiskey at least, not an ice cream
No
cone.
shit. Gay. That's what LD would say. That's gay.
Hey, we got a super chat there
I
from
did.
Joseph Murray. Did you respond to him?
I did. Thank you, Joseph Murphy. He hit that
What a guy.
money sign at the bottom of the chat. Joseph Murray, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, what do you do at a red traffic light that's basically telling you, screw you, it doesn't recognize you? Good question, Joseph Murray.
Here
and I'm
in
gonna answer
Washington
that.
State, we can tell you what happens. I don't know about anywhere
A
else.
lot of states had that
Depends
long
on your
time
state
before
and local
us.
laws.
Yeah.
We followed a lot of other states. So, go ahead. Anybody?
Yeah. So basically, you get there and you realize
Here.
that
We're talking about Washington, but it is in other
Dan
states.
Thompson also just gave a super chat. So anyway, we're talking about here in Washington State. It's probably in a lot of other states too, like these guys are saying. But you come up to the light and you sit there and you're waiting and all the other traffic's going and you realize once again it's your turn and the damn thing hasn't turned. If you have waited for a complete cycle, then you can run that red light. Because a lot of times the red light just doesn't.
If it's safe to do so.
If it's, I mean, I guess if you want to just go and it's not safe to do so.
I know, obviously, right? But we got to throw that out there.
Right. If it's safe to do so, you take off. If there's no traffic coming, because a lot of times just the sensor, certain lights just aren't going to be able to pick your bike up.
Correct.
They
Then
could
you're
be.
good to go. They're pretty good at it these days,
could
but
be
there are a few.
They're pretty
Right.
good. They're pretty good
They
nowadays.
could be piezo's in the roadway that don't recognize the weight of the bike. Where,
Right.
they're picking up a heavier car or truck, so they may not recognize you. So you can, after, like Papa
I
said,
know
after
one
full
particular
circle, you can
intersection
go.
in our town. It's still that way.
There used to be one.
24th and Knob Hill.
Oh, does it?
But other than that, all the other intersections are good. But that one is still screwed up.
Third and Valley Mall Boulevard used to do it. I'd leave her and
no
head
shit.
home, and now it's good. But I used to blow that one all the time. I'd sit there for a full cycle, and then I'd go.
So we answered that. Yeah, sit for a full cycle. If it's safe, you can go. That's the law here in Washington State. We adopted it from other states that have been doing it for years. We were way behind other states on adopting that because a motorcycle guy can't sit there for 20 cycles and it never goes. It just, so
wait for a car to pull up behind you. Oh, good. Now I can go. Yeah.
So that was a good question. That was a super chat by Joseph Murray. Threw us $5 and we appreciate that. And then asked a question and he's his question's pinned up there on the super chat. So thank you everybody that's super chatting. We appreciate it. So there you go. Just don't say go. Use okay and no or whatever you come up with. Just make sure they are very definitively different. So that you don't run into any problems as far as that goes.
I think the biggest part of there is the go and no. Don't use go.
Right.
No's fine because that's natural. No. Don't use
That's
go.
the thing. Keep it simple. Like
don't use go. Use the head.
Yep.
Big exaggerated yes. Head up and down.
You do that again, that's kind of turning me
Oh
on.
God.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I knew it.
You want me to open my mouth while I'm doing it?
That's live. Yeah, I love it. That's all right. Oscar showed his nipples last live several times. I
will
can't
not.
remember why.
Shit's
but he
Getting
did.
crazy.
Yeah, he
I will
did.
not show my nipples.
His moobs, man boobs, straight up, dude. Show your moobs. So that's some of the basic. Of course, there's other hand signals, but I'll tell you that I wanted to keep it kind of what you'll actually use. We don't really, even as a motors unit, use any more than that. Those are your basic standard they're pretty universal if you go state to state. I don't know in other parts of the world. I would assume North America. I don't know, in other parts of the world, but if you look online, they're pretty standard. Of course, I'll do some show notes on this. This is going to be a hard one. There are some graphs out there, and I have one here. It's a picture. I'll try to link to it, and it's the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. I will link to it in the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode this number is. It doesn't talk about everything we talked about, but
there's a couple in there we didn't, like slow down, stop.
Why don't we go through some of these? Let's just do it, because we don't use a lot of these. Because
we use the slow down. We do use the pat your saddlebag.
Thank you. So let's do that, because that's a Motors Unit one that I forgot. That's good. Let me Matt, why don't you talk about it while I'm putting it?
There is a few, and we'll get to it, but there's one in particular, which is the slow down, where you reach out and you pat like your saddlebag. You're telling the people behind you, hey, slow down, slow down.
Yeah, so a lot of guys who ride in groups think that slow down, which it can be, they just do the 90-degree down to the saddlebag.
Hard to see.
And they do the little pump with their hand.
You got to get straight out and really exaggerate. All these maneuvers need to be exaggerated.
That's why we hit our saddlebags.
Yeah.
It's very definitive. So you basically reach up as high as you can and very exaggerated, maybe 3 times. Boom, hit your rear saddlebag with your right or left hand, hit your rear saddlebag, hit your rear saddlebag. The brakes, the modulators I have with the lights that do the strobe effect are helpful too, but you still, that is seen, because guys 3 bikes back won't see those, but they can see your hand up and you doing that definitive motion, because you want to get from getting the accordion effect. You want to get guys 4 pairs back seeing, oh, he's telling the slow down sign. Otherwise, they're going to have to ram the brakes at the last minute when they realize that everybody's slowing down. So
I got a couple more for you that aren't in the show notes.
Yeah.
One, shit in the road.
Oh yeah, no, we need to do that too. Yep.
So
we do that all
you're
the
coming
time.
up a lot of times. Everybody's nuts to butts.
Look at shit in the
Put it in the
road.
Put that
right in the show notes.
Popeye.
Shit in the road.
You got shit in the road. So if you don't want shit flying up all over your bike, but no, if you could come across, you got shit in the in the road, you got a rock or whatever, some type of debris in the roadway. Well, those first 2 guys that are riding side by side up front, they have no problem seeing it. But if you're 6 pairs back, you can't see the shit coming in the road. So the first guys, if you are the guy on the left tire track, what he does is he holds out his leg. Why his leg and not his arm? Because you're running your throttle.
Well, we do both. We do both, depending. Yes,
left side you can use your hand, but right side
sometimes you can use your right
arm.
too. We do it both.
You can
Depends.
You can use both, and we have,
universal.
And, especially if a guy is on cruise control,
right?
Or if you just get off the throttle real quick and it's not going to slow you down that much, you can point at it. So yes, we do use both. Is if the guy's on the right,
whatever you can do, because notify him,
right? Yes. Because it's your throttle hand is generally why you hang your right foot off and point towards it coming. The guy on the the guy on the right hand side will point at it with his left hand and point where it's at.
Right.
Now, the other one that I was thinking of is that I've been trying to get LD to do more and more lately, and you guys didn't ride with us coming back from Reno, is passing. And when we're out with a group and I know we're going to pass, because what will happen is that, especially like LD's got a 110, I got a 103. So if he's on the left-hand side and I'm on the right-hand side, and we're coming up behind a car or a semi or something like that, I can't see around, if there's a passing lane, if there's anybody coming or whatever. So what I will do, if I'm the guy on the left-hand side, is I'll hold up very high up into the air, like one hand. And guys obviously know that there's, we're not going to one lane. We're on a freaking highway.
All your
here.
fingers are up.
Yeah,
anyways.
we're not going. Yeah, we're not going to a one up. Everybody, single file. One means we got one car and we're passing, or I'll hold up 2, and I don't generally do any more than that. We got 2 cars. After the second car, we're passing. What that does is allows the guys to drop down a gear. And they're ready for the pass, because LD's done it to me a bunch.
Down, yeah.
He's gone all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's just taken off, and he's got that 110. He drops a gear, boom, he's gone. I'm dropping gears.
You're lugging.
Yeah, I'm dropping gears trying to get up and go. So what I'll do is I'll hold up 1 or 2. Yeah, I'll hold up 1 or 2.
Now you know what the fuck it means.
We've got. I think everybody knew
it was universal. I'm just teasing.
Well, you know it because you're slowed down. We're accordioned up. We're up against some RV, and
hold up 2 hands. 2 cars are coming, and then what I do is I've got all my hand open, like the old military, pointing at somebody, military salute type of thing, right? But it's up high in the air, and I start moving my arm forward and back, which means we're passing. So it's just like a bend of the elbow, forward and back, we're going. And everybody at that point can drop a gear if they haven't already dropped a gear, and we can pass this one unit. And generally when I'm trying to pass with the entire group, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to pass the entire group, not a couple of us here and there.
That's
it's
the other thing you have to take into account.
Once.
Yeah.
So you've got to have a big section to pass a lot of times.
Yep.
And there's a couple more if you need gas.
Hang on a sec on that.
Or you got to pee.
Before we do that. Yeah, the other way to do that is, and I like that, Popeye, and we do, and I get it. We all do it that way. The other one to do if you're leading, the way we do it a lot, is I'll be on the left wheel track and I'll be poking out around the semi, looking, anybody's coming. I'll look over, I see there's room. I'll look at my partner on the right and I'll give the head nod.
Exactly.
And then that means it gives everybody plenty of time, even though everybody can see it.
Yep.
Now we drop a gear, and by the time we drop a gear and they realize we're pulling out, the two behind them realize they drop a gear, and it just kind of goes back. And everybody, by the time it gets that accordion effect, everybody has time to drop a gear. Either way
class
works.
is that, if the pass is that fucking close to where you can't look at the guy, because I do that with somebody's too.
Yeah.
Look over and nod, and then go. If you've only got that limited amount of time that you don't have time for that, you probably shouldn't be passing.
Yes, very well, very well. And the bigger the group, the harder it is to make passes.
Right.
And sometimes you do get split up, and you just have to.
Mm-hmm.
You try to get as many guys around as you can, but that's it. Yeah, good. I'm glad. We do all this, but I was trying to prep for both these. So thank you guys for bringing these up. The other one, Lurch, you wanted to talk about is
gas.
We'll talk about gas. Let me talk about high
Pull
beam.
over, need a blowjob.
We do use this a lot.
Sound.
If a guy has his high beam on, honestly, I run with my high beam on all day and all night. I never turn it off high beam, but that's me because I want to be seen. But if you're a guy or a group that doesn't want to run high beam, the signal is, and I've seen it, is guys will you just tap the top of your helmet and with your hand, the palm of your hand, like 3 times, and that means, hey, FYI. At night, that could be critical. At night, I said 24 hours a day. Day, I run my high beam. At night, I actually turn it down if cars are coming or I'm riding in a group.
So Scott Clark asked, what is the hand signal for slow down? He's got a super chat in there because there's a highway patrol ahead.
Thank you, Scott. A $20 super chat. You the man. All right.
So I'll answer that.
Hang on. What kind of hand signal for slow down? Because
the highway patrol's ahead, or got a cop coming ahead.
That's the problem. Nobody knows, and I've seen other guys come by and do weird things, and you don't know what they mean, or they do the top of their head.
Pat
I've seen
your
that.
head. That's the most universal one.
That's the most common one.
But you know what I see? As soon as I see that, I think that they want me to turn my high beam, and I look at my high beam because that's the one we use for high beam. So you never know. Good call.
That's the biggest one for me. Yeah, you're at like a 90 degrees and you pat the top of your head.
Right.
Top of head.
There you go.
Not that we condone that type of activity.
Absolutely not. But that would be, if there was a signal, that may be the signal. We're not sure. That may or may not be the signal. I don't know.
That's right.
I think that varies from area to area.
That's the most common.
And I've seen it before, and then I get down the road and I'm like, I didn't see anybody.
We pretty much set our bikes on 2 over, maybe 3 over.
Right. As long as you set your cruise control on 2 over, you're golden.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, go ahead. Gas is pretty basic, Lurch. We have done that. In Canada, we did. One of the guys in the back was out, and I raced up to the front and told Popeye, I pointed back with my thumb, which means it's not me, because they know it's not me.
Right.
I pointed back with my thumb.
Yeah, I'm not the asshole.
Right, yeah, exactly. I'm not the 5-gallon tank guy.
Right.
And I pointed 3 times at my gas. That means somebody in the back is almost out of gas. Get your shit over. We did that in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Reno.
a good one. Or was it Reno? Yeah, you're right. I mixed my trips up. We've been on so many traps.
Yeah, it was Chola probably.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, it's Chola.
Russell Roberts said Smokey Bear. 10-20, 10-4. You got Smokey ahead.
How about you got to pee?
You got to pee. All right.
I usually slap the side of my knee.
I just pull my wiener out.
Because that's where it's at.
That's right.
I just pull my whole wiener out.
That is my last question. So, in all seriousness, when you're riding down the road and your nutsack's out and flopping in the breeze, what does that mean?
It means I'm living large.
You might die at any time because you are old.
Living large.
If Ryan gives you the hey, little come up here, come here. Come up here. Come up here.
Look up here.
And then you pull up next to him and he points toward his crotchal area.
Cock and balls.
Don't look.
It really means nothing other than you are the one staring at my cock and balls. That's what it means.
Bag.
You're staring
looking
at my
at
cock
my
and balls.
bag.
Just straight. So hey, here's one, and we're almost done with this, guys. A point down to your junk is what I use. Yeah, that's straight up. That's universal.
Yeah,
Point at your dick, and with your pointer finger, and pretty much that means I got to piss. Me and Lurch use one, and maybe Popeye does too. But me and Lurch have used it before, and that's I'm thirsty, which means we need a beer. So let's go ahead.
Oh yeah.
And that's just the typical hand, like you have a cup, and the beer signal, like
Thumb and pinky out. Thumb and pinky and rocket.
Yep. There you
Thumb
go.
and pinky and rocket.
Nice.
Thirsty.
Hang loose, thirsty,
Yep.
but rocket.
Yeah, but rocket like
Nice.
you're tipping a beer.
And there are
We don't condone that.
we
type
don't
activity
condone
on
that
it.
No, I
either.
didn't say I need a beer. Just thirsty. I need
Right.
something.
I need
Yeah.
a Gatorade and a water.
That's right.
That's what I need. And we don't want to confuse it too much, but those are your basic. And I'm glad you guys brought up those extra ones. Did I do? Oh yeah, we want to do gas. What other?
We
one
did gas. Oh, you're
No,
writing
I'm
it down.
writing them down so I can put in the
Gotcha.
show notes.
Gotcha.
We
Pee.
did gas. Huh?
Pee.
Yep.
Thirsty.
Okay. And we did cock and balls out.
Cock and balls.
Still not
You
sure
could
what that
probably you could
means.
just probably forget that one.
All right. I'll leave that out of the show notes
All right.
just for the live audience. So there you go, guys. That is your basic. I mean, those are your universal to live by. Those are very standardized. I really hope this is going to be an evergreen episode
I would think so.
for guys that we can point to. Group riding is a different dynamic, and make sure you know who you're writing about. Somebody brought up in chat earlier, and I just want to mention it. I think it was Russell. I can't remember. I'd have to go back, but they do some kind of poker run ride. We do poker runs around here with 200 plus bikes, and they ride two abreast. You don't know who you're riding next to. Be careful with that. It's low speed because it's a parade and it's around town, so I'm okay with it. But he was saying their particular, whatever kind of ride or memorial ride it was, they ride staggered. I agree with that. It makes the package so long, though. We actually, as a motors unit, because we escort all them.
What's wrong with a long package?
There's nothing wrong with a long package. Nothing at all. And so I like it when they ride two abreast only because we have to do traffic control and we have to speed up and do intersections, and we brief people before. We could do a whole nother episode on how to do that and how we ride in the right lane and stuff. But yeah, so if it's too big a group staggered, you could be out like 300 blocks and it's unmanageable. So that's going to be dependent on if you're slow, I get it. If you're out on a freeway and you're in some kind of ride like that, I would really try to do staggered unless you know who you're riding left of, just because of the very reasons that we talked about today.
So Greg Jones wants to know, do you guys have a hot chick signal?
Yeah. Oh, sometimes we do the grab signal, or I try to spank them like the bicyclist in the spandex. When we go by, I do the right before I get to them, I do the smack on the ass, the good game smack on the ass. And that
You know what I usually do if we're going by one in a car? I will turn around and I will pat the back of my passenger seat. Like, hey, you want to come along? You want to go for a ride?
And everybody knows you saw something.
Yeah.
That's when
they
pull
know
up
I
that.
saw something, but the chick's sitting there looking at me when I do it. And so it's usually pretty funny too.
Good call. Or you can do like Ed and you can just rubberneck it and almost go off the road and almost run into your guy you're riding next to. That's Ed, the rubbernecker. Cuz does that. So yeah, you can just rubberneck it too and just stare. But yeah, that would be your universal signal that Ed's not paying attention to his riding.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I've been beside him when he's done that. I'm like, Ed, pay the frick attention, rubbernecker. Anything you guys want to clean up that we didn't get? I think those are the kind of the standard.
No.
Since we brought it in with the outro music, we should take it out
with
With
the
the
intro.
intro?
with the intro music, dude.
That's weird.
Isn't it weird? It's totally throws your game, doesn't it?
Good way to spend a Saturday night, huh?
Oh, you guys are awesome. Don't forget, we did 2 live events tonight, guys. Thank you, the public event, the super chats that came in. You guys are awesome. Prior to this, we did a patron-only private YouTube live event where the chat's a lot less, which we love the chat, but it's very much more personal because there's less people in there. Become a patron, guys. I'm telling you, we had a great episode that we did. You won't be able to hear that till it comes out. Who knows when, because we batch process, but it will come out in podcast format, as will this one. But all those guys got to be with us in the chat, and we got to be with them, which is more important. And to have that interaction and have that private patron-only live event. And make sure, guys, If you want to get signed up as a patron, so you get some of that access, we're upping our game with the patron access and some of the things we do for the patron. We're always working to tweak things over here at Law Abiding Biker Media, and we're learning and what you guys want and all that kind of stuff. And hopefully we are serving you, as that is our mission, to help as many bikers as we can worldwide is our motto and our mission, guys. And my email signature, helping as many bikers as I can worldwide. Lurch, you have something to say? You look like you're just chomping at the bit.
No, I'm just looking cool, man. I'm just sitting here chilling.
Looking cool.
Pondering. All right, guys, don't forget the Bug Slide. Don't ride without the Slide. Bikeaholics Bug Slide, absolutely the best waterless motorcycle cleaner on the market. Bug Slide, tried and tested right here by the Law Abiding Biker crew. Number one go-to waterless motorcycle cleaner. I have video of the guys using it in Canada, in Reno. We use this stuff. We believe in it. Bug Slide clean, shines, degreases while removing bugs and other surface contaminants with ease. Use it on your motorcycle, car, boat, and more. Never need to wax again the release agent. And Bug Slide contains a UV filter for added protection. It's free of abrasives. Yep, it's safe on all non-port surfaces. Yes, all you with denim paint. We get the question all the time. It's even safe on denim paint. The best thing to use on denim paint. We believe in it so much we carry it right in stock in the Law Abiding Biker store. lawabidingbiker.com/store. Big Daddy, Kane, and Grunt. We have a lot of it in stock ready to ship to you guys right now.
Not a snake oil.
It is not a snake oil. That was Bike Bright too. Remember? We talked about that.
Was that Bike Bright?
That was the wet wash, which we have in our store too. We talked about that. It's not snake oil.
I can't remember which one I said that for in Canada. I thought it was the Bug Slide in Canada that I was saying it's not a snake oil.
You might have said that in Canada, but we did the last podcast with you.
I was talking about it.
And I think you talked about Bike Bright. Either or. It's not.
They're both good products.
Either way.
And Bug Slide smells good.
It does.
It does. Smells awesome, guys. Thank you. Do we have any last chats to clean up? Anything major?
Nothing.
Yeah, thank you. Who's Your Biker says, thanks for the show. You bet, guys. And thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the support. Thank you for being in the chat. We're going to do a lot more live patron, guys. So a lot of these live things are going to go patron. So patron only. So make sure if that's something you're interested in, we just want to give more over there. So anyways, thank you. We're out of here. We got to pee and it's been a long night, and God bless. Ride safe.